Hello and welcome to the November Bekbek Makes subscription box video. In this box you will receive some wooden snowflakes, 2 acrylic paint pens in a light blue and dark blue. If it's your first box you'll receive 25mm UV resin, otherwise you'll get the smaller one, the 10mm. This is the Celebration Wreath mould, and I've called it that because I've kept it quite simplistic so that you could use it for different wreaths throughout the year. So what this creates is a hollow bauble shape, and in the centre you have smaller designs of a bauble, a bell, a star and a bow. In your little findings pack you've got some earring posts to make 2 pairs of earrings, a detail stick, 3 different pigments and glitters, and a green translucent cellophane. So in with your wreath mould you'll find 2 quite sturdy pieces of clear plastic. Now these are to do a technique we haven't done before. Please excuse my nails as well, I was just using black paint on a previous video and it's all on my hands still. So to get started I've laid my first sheet of the clear plastic down. I'm then adding some of the pigment powder directly on top of it. And we're going to mix the UV resin into the pigment powder on top of the sheet. Once you're happy it's thoroughly mixed in, we're going to get your other clear plastic sheet and press down gently but firmly on the UV resin, spreading it out into a thin layer between the 2 sheets, and we're just going to cure that in place now. So the great thing about this plastic is that it's reusable and will not fuse to the UV resin, meaning we can create beautiful thin layers of UV resin that we can use in different ways in different projects. Next we're going to repeat this process, but we're going to encapsulate some of the green cellophane into the design to give the clear layer like a texture. So the resin will not fuse to the cellophane, but you can trap it inside the UV resin. So chopping it up into tiny little pieces like this and then putting the resin over the top will create a cool colourful layer. So now we're going to use these 2 layers to create the leaves for our wreath. So by snipping these into little irregular shapes, it will create quite an abstract wreath, which looks quite cool. So I tried 2 different techniques to build the wreath itself. Firstly, I mixed the pigment powder in with the UV resin and filled the outer frame, and then sat the pieces into the resin and cured it in place. And this gave like a spiky kind of finish. So obviously you want to avoid getting it on your fingers because it's sticky, so you can either wear gloves at this stage. In some places I'm just placing the shapes directly into the resin, and in others I'm getting a blob of the UV resin on the detail stick and then dabbing that on the shape I'm trying to pick up, and the stickiness obviously lifts it up and then you can sit it into the mold. But these shapes were so flaky that it was quite tricky sometimes to do that. So you just keep going until you're happy with all your positioning, and then you cure this in place. As always, cure it from the reverse. To save you time, don't try just putting a big old chunk of the cellophane into the UV resin, because all that happened was when I cured it, it just peeled off in strips. When I took it out the mould, I thought it looked cool, but it wasn't what I had had in mind for my wreath. So I tried another technique where I mixed the UV resin in as normal, filled up the mould, cured that and used that as a base. Then, using my little abstract leaves, I used the UV resin as a glue to gently place these in place around the wreath shape. I did one layer using the green pigment powder leaves, and then I did another layer with the cellophane inside. You don't have to be too precious at this stage, because if there's any leaves that stick out too far once it's finished, you can just snip them with the scissors. Once you're happy with the positioning, you can cure this under the UV light. And there you have the base of your wreath. The next stage is to create the decorations for it. All of the little embellishments in this mould are small enough to be used as earrings. You can also add decorations directly onto the wreath itself, like here I'm adding little blobs of the yellow pigment powder and UV resin to create sort of like little fairy lights. Make as many of the little embellishments as you need for your design and just keep curing them. Next, using the UV resin as a glue, place your little details where you want them and cure them in place. It's super simple to turn these little bows into earrings. Use the earring post to scoop up a little bit of the UV resin and sit it on the back of the design. Then using the detail stick, gently guide the UV resin where you need it and then cure it for a couple of minutes. Continue adding to your wreath design until you're happy with the layout, and obviously you can use other things like stickers or sequins, whatever you think will make it look pretty. And here's my finished little wreath. And obviously if you just change your colourways, you could use this to create like an Easter wreath or a little birthday wreath. Or you could even turn the hollow bauble shape into a shaker. I thought these wooden snowflakes would make a really cute little brooch or Christmas card decoration. I coloured them in using the paint pens and then used the green pigment powder to give them a little shimmer. I placed masking tape on the back of the middle of the design so that you could fill in the hole. think the plastic sheets are worth experimenting with. I had a little play with some dried flowers, and obviously when you work with dried flowers they always trap air. But I think maybe if I soaked them in the UV resin beforehand and then pressed them, we might avoid getting such a bubbly finish. But you could even create just colourful sheets and cut petals out and build your own flowers as well. There's just so much potential with this technique. If it doesn't easily pop off, then it probably isn't fully cured. The wooden snowflakes almost look like they're enamel. Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like the November subscription box, head over to bekbek.co.uk.